All right, welcome everybody. We're going to talk about 5 reasons to trade this one market. It trades at 2.5 times the volume as all global ETFs combined. So you're going to ask yourself, why aren't you trading this market? We're going to give you 5 reasons to trade, and we're going to talk about using automated options technology, and also we're going to have a demo of our automated futures systems platform. And it looks like you can see me okay. And if you can't, let me know, but we'll put up that little webcam just for a bit as we get started and get through the introductions. Remember, we're speculating. Speculators accept risk, just like Valentine and the Duke brothers there from Trading Places. So remember that as prices move up and down, we're trying to profit, but there's always risk involved. So with that said, let's take a brief moment. It is important to look at the risk disclosure. So take a moment to read through that, please. Remember that past performance is no guarantee of future results, and only risk capital should be used. Okay, very good. With those preliminaries out of the way, we're going to talk about technology experts are using. We're going to talk about something you've never seen, how you can diversify in various market sectors, and we're going to have strategies for bull, bear, and even flat market conditions. All right, very good. This is how you want to end up, like this robot. Just having the work done for you, at least most of the heavy lifting. You don't want to end up like this poor chap here, struggling with his orders and so forth. So 2 new algo solutions. First is the algo-driven systems trading, fully automated markets and global markets as well. And then algo-generated options trades. These are pre-built spreads. There's one-touch trade alerts. I'll explain that. And then automation with your risk and your profit management. So stick around, we're going to use our time wisely. We have a lot to get through, and I promise I won't waste your time or go slowly or bore you to tears. At least that's my hope. So you'll let me know otherwise. I'm sure I'm getting all sorts of questions and comments already, and I think a lot of times I'm going to answer those questions as we go, but certainly we have time at the end. Then we're going to offer you something worth over $32,000 and show you how to get on board at a tremendous discount and even get on board for free. Everyone's favorite word. So if you like what you see, we're going to show you how to get involved and take action in just a moment. A little bit about us, 3 trading secrets. We're going to talk about algo traders, have a live demo of the trading robots. Then we'll talk about the one options market you need to be trading and how you can do that with automation. Then we'll get you started with some special offers and FAQs. So a little bit about who we are, Altivest. Since 1997, we are a registered brokerage firm. All of our staff are licensed, of course, with a lot of experience, multiple decades of experience. There's a picture of us down on the trading floor trading options, and that was quite a few years ago, actually maybe 10 years ago, but it's amazing. Does not look like that anymore. All the machines have taken over. And then, of course, we're regulated, and we are located in California, and we are futures and options experts, having traded millions of contracts over the years. So with that experience, you don't want to try to figure everything out by yourself, like this poor guy here. Use us and use our wisdom and judgment and information and technology, and that's what we're here for. Trading solutions built with experience, decades of input and development from industry veterans. And then just a little bit about myself. I'm Erik Gebhard, been doing this almost 30 years now. I was first licensed in 1991, co-founder of Altivest. I'm my BS in Business Administration from the University of Southern California, and a little bit of background how I got started. That's my textbook on investments when I was at USC, and we were looking at futures and options at the time, and this is what was happening in the world. Crude oil had doubled in value, the oil fields were exploding in Kuwait, and gold prices had jumped enormously. So that was the backdrop, and we're looking at these financial instruments, and it was really, really fascinating. So with that said, I was able to get involved with the securities business and my Series 6 and 63 licenses, and probably no one really cares about that anymore, and I don't either, but I thought I'd at least let you know a little bit about my background. And then ever since, I've been in futures and futures options. And this is kind of just for kicks. That's me. I think it was one of the first jobs I had, the early years, as I call it, the wonder years. So just for kicks, thought I'd throw that in there. All right, 3 trading secrets. The first, day trading. It's not that easy, folks. Everyone's a day trader now, according to the Wall Street Journal. There's articles about this all the time. But really the point I'm making is unless you bought GameStop, right? That's all making headlines and the markets are all dislocated and displaced now and everyone's choking on all these big rallies and these different issues this week in particular. But just thought I'd throw that out there. But remember, the point is day trading still is not easy. The Journal of Financial Markets here did a study. Look at the yellow highlight. Less than 1% of the day trading population can predictably and reliably earn positive abnormal returns net of fees. So keep that in mind, folks. It does seem easy of late if you just buy everything, but that won't last forever. And number 2, the second secret, precision when it comes to trading stocks. Well, it's one of those things where really when you think about it, everything has to go correctly. You've got to be 100% perfect with picking the market, the direction, applying the strategy, your entry timing and price, and then your exit. How do you manage that risk and reward? So a lot has to go right. And forecasting stock prices is not easy unless you are a monkey. Forbes had a little piece here, and they do this all the time. Average monkey outperformed the stock index by an average of 1.7% per year since 1964. So I always think that's kind of a kick to look at. Here's the third secret. Emotions, meaning we become our own worst enemy. Remember, markets are always correct that we aren't. It can be expensive convincing the markets that you are right. Look at the people that were short GameStop, actually. I think some of these hedge funds are going to be declaring bankruptcy soon just because they didn't cover their risk as the market kept moving up. I think it's up, that price is up 9 times in the last couple of days. So you don't want to end up like this, folks. You don't want to end up with that on your tombstone. So we're going to hopefully keep you from making those mistakes. So number 3 here with our emotions, we have bad wiring. We're built in with a bias to make poor investment decisions, to sell the lows and to buy the highs. That's really what that adds up to. And it says here, our brain is killing our returns. And I think how many of us can relate to that? And I probably get 100 people raising their hands because I think we can all relate to that. We've all been there. All right, so let's avoid the 3 common biases according to the Motley Fool. It says sometimes our worst financial enemy is ourselves. Okay. Here's confirmation, anchoring, and recency bias. Those are the 3 biases the Motley Fool identifies. And there you go. This is a good cartoon that sums it up. I think that kind of applies to really any of those biases, really. The guy here with blinders on says his stocks are great, doesn't need to know anything else. But meanwhile, of course, the world is moving on in a different direction. So algos, they have no emotion and they are dominating the landscape. I think it's kind of a fair statement we could all agree with. However, let me point out something else too. 80% of the stock market dominated by machines causing sharp drops and rallies. Algorithms speed up selling, leading to the fastest bear market in stock history. That was from last year in March. So here's an example of what we're going to show you in just a second in this demo. Diversifying your stock portfolio. Let's look at like last March. Here's the S&P cratering, and then here we have the VIX, the fear index spiking. So meanwhile, here's one of the systems. We're going to show you one of the many systems on our platform. Here's the performance in March of this trading system. It didn't really care that the market was moving up or down or volatile. It was able to sink its teeth into some moves and do very, very well. And really, past performance is no guarantee of future results, but I do want to point this out. That's the whole point of having some of these systems, is having an absolute return vehicle, something that can diversify and not be correlated to what's happening in the financial markets. Bloomberg says robots are outwitting humans on their investment picks. I think we could see that. Little cartoon I thought was kind of cool, so I threw it in there. I think we've all evolved to this point now with all the algo trading. This is what it used to look like, folks. Little grainy video there. That was on the floor of the NYMEX. I took that a few years back, one of my visits there in New York. But here's what it looks like now. This is your competition, no emotion. These machines run automatically with built-in risk controls. How can you use algo systems to compete? Well, that's what we're going to show you. We're going to jump into a demo. So give me just a moment here, folks. Some more questions are coming in. I'm going to have to hold those for a second. So we're going to look at automated systems, user-friendly platform, novice or advanced traders. You can filter for risk and reward parameters. You can do it in minutes a day, diversified market sectors, automate with your risk and profit, and then you just set it to off and on and walk away once you turn it on. And remember, up or down, it doesn't matter. The machines don't care. There's day trading systems, swing trading systems across multiple sectors as well. So we're going to jump into a live demo here. You see this test pilot. We've done all that testing for you. So now it's time to jump into the demo. Time for you to meet your new robot friends at what we call AV systems. That's our trading platform. We're going to show you how to filter for risk, profit, capital requirements, various markets, strategies, you name it. So let's go ahead and we're going to jump into that demo. I'll turn off the webcam at the moment, and that way we have more real estate. Okay, success. You're now looking at my dashboard for AV systems. Let me just get situated here. All right. We're going to jump in and just kind of follow these 4 steps. How to explore a system or choose a system or systems. How would you then subscribe to that system? How would you activate it? And then how would you monitor the performance once it's active? And you'll notice right away on this platform dashboard, you can see we're looking at the first 25 of almost 2,000 systems on the platform. So that's what's on display right now. And you can customize this table here. Of course, you can filter in ascending or descending order by just clicking any of those headings. You can see some big annualized returns here. And then, if you can descending and ascending, you can see your total P&L, whatever it might be. But really, you can customize this table is really what I'm getting at. You can remove some of these headings if you're not interested in some of these and maybe add something else and then click OK. And now it's going to reflect those criteria that you've just used in that selection here, or just go back to default. But I just want to point out that you can customize that table. Won't spend any time on that. But here, explore systems. Well, you don't want to just end up going one by one through each almost 2,000, 1,800 systems here. You want to filter. So here is a powerful tool, very, very powerful tool. You know what I can do here is let me increase this a little bit. Does that make it better so everyone can see? It always bugs me if I see a webinar and people have all this, 5-point font on their screen. You can't make out what's going on. So hopefully I don't do that to you. Now, here is a filtering tool. So perhaps you can start with this quick filter. How about systems that have current clients trading them and required capitals less than $5,000? So click that filter, and now you see you have 49 systems that meet that criteria. So you have the 2 criteria. Does it have clients? And is the required capital between this amount, 0 to 5,000? So those are the 2 filters you have working, and you end up with this universe of 49. Or you can clear that, or keep it, of course, and you can use these advanced filters here. This is a really, really powerful tool. And you can look at all the criteria, total P&L, track P&L, live P&L, worst drawdown, current drawdown, best session, worst session, your Sharpe Sortino ratios, the type of trading, the market traded, suggested capital. You can really, really get very, very granular and fine-tune so that you end up with just maybe a handful of systems that meet the criteria that you find suitable. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through it, but maybe you want to do only intraday systems. Okay, so now you see there's 808 day trading systems. And perhaps you're looking at only the ones that have real clients trading them right now. You want to add that. There's 107 day trading systems with real live money being traded. And perhaps let's look at one other thing. Suggested capital. That we're always going to use the suggested capital amount. We're going to look at the ones that have a suggested capital of, why don't we go anywhere from 5,000 to 50,000, see if that changes things much. Now we have 93 available. So you can see how you can get very, very detailed and granular. You can look at some performance metrics here, risk and return, if you want to use that. Maybe add a Sharpe ratio. I don't know if that'll change it. 54, there you go. If you're not familiar with some of those terms, that's okay. I can show you where to find that. But nonetheless, you can end up with just a handful of systems after you go through the filtering. And that is a very, very powerful tool. And it's a lot of fun to use as well. So I'm going to clear all those. We're going to go back to where we started. We're going to go back to the default on all this. And for example, you'll notice these are blue and these are gold. That's because I've saved them as a favorite. And the blue ones are the ones that are active. I'm going to show you how to find that too. Let me squeeze this down. It's kind of moving my screen around. Now here's what you would do. If after you've filtered, you end up with a handful of systems that you like, the next step would be for you to essentially click on any one of them. And this is where you get into the details. You drill down into the details. So here's one, copper. You can see the name of the developer. It's Copper Futures Swing Trading System. It's $75 a month. And I'll explain that in a second, but that's a fee that is deducted directly from your account. And it's also something that goes directly to the system developer. So that's how they get paid to build and create these systems. And you'll notice here your profit and loss figures up here gives you the worst drawdown suggested capital amount. So 50,000 is the amount of suggested capital to trade this particular system. And that's how all of the other percentages and dollar figures are based off of that suggested capital amount, not the required capital amount. So you can see the history of this system here on this graph. You can look at it in different ways. Scatter plot with your drawdowns, your profits, your P&L. Here's your drawdown. And we're going to look at some of these figures here. We're not going to spend time going through each one of them, but you'll see here your analyzed return on investment, your winning session percentage, your best dollar session, your worst dollar session. It's all here. It's all transparent. Nothing is hidden. And this table here is very important. So you'll notice if it's a white background, that means that is all back-tested data. So if it's white background, that's back-tested hypothetical data. And then if it turns this kind of tan color, you notice here, that means the system was now available to trade on the AV Systems platform. So it was on here for 3 months, and then it turned green. And that means clients have started using it with real live money since April of 2019, for example. And then you can see the performance month by month, so on and so forth. Now let me point out something here. We looked in the presentation 5-10 minutes ago at March of 2020. Stock market lost 35%. But here's the system trading copper, gained very, very nicely during that month of March. So you can see all the granularity. It gives you all the history day by day. You'll see the license for the cost came out of the account balance right away on the first day of the month, trading day, and then you can see the P&L day by day, and then the accumulated P&L here, and then here's your equity curve for that performance of March. That's why we love these systems, because they can move in a completely non-correlated manner to what's happening in traditional asset classes. Now, if you wanted to, let me show you what you would do next. So you've chosen a system, you've seen how to filter, and I talked to you a little bit about the license or how to subscribe, but let me just pull up one. I'm just going to pull up one here completely at random. I don't know, I haven't pulled this one up. Let me show you what you would do to actually subscribe. So here's an E-mini S&P 500 system. You can see the cost is $25 a month. And what you would do is click this padlock here, and you would click Buy License. You could also do the same thing from any of the padlocks there on the dashboard. So you would want to buy the license, and let me show you how that works. It's telling you it's $25 a month for 1 unit of the system, and it's deducted directly from your account, and then you would click Subscribe. Now this is just a demo account, so I'm not sure I even have monopoly money in the demo account to subscribe to the system, but that's okay. Let me show you how this works anyway. You want to read the disclaimer here and the terms and conditions. So it lets you purchase the license, but here's how you would activate it. Now that you've purchased it, you need to activate the system so that the algo can trade automatically for you. So let's find out what happens. I'll click Activate. I'll show you how this happens. You're doing 1 multiplier, 1 contract. Immediate activation or activate on next session will go immediate. And then you would accept the terms and then activate. Let's see what happens. If it doesn't activate, because I don't have enough demo money, that's okay too, because that is part of the risk control. So you're not allowed to just willy-nilly activate any system you want at any time. You have to have the capital in the account, of course. So let's see what happens here. All right, good. So it did work, activation processed, and this is called the Stenma Trade the E-mini S&P S2. We'll click OK, and we'll close this out. And this is, let me show you where you would then go next. You've activated it. Now step 4, monitor under My Systems. And you can see it listed right here. So it's available right there under My Systems along with any other systems that are now live. So you see I have E-mini S&P 500. I have 3 systems trading live right now. And you can see the performance, the accumulated performance of the systems, $4,100. You'll notice a gold system here, accumulated 5,100. Here's a NASDAQ system, 7,700. And you can see today, here's a mini Dow that did 1,185. And then here's a soybean trade position that's currently short, meaning -1 means it's short one currently. It tells you from the price, 1381. But it has lost money today, but overall it's still gaining money. And then here is your today's P&L, and then your accumulated P&L for all of your live systems. And you can see how the numbers are kind of flashing there. So this is live data coming in and feeding the algos. And the only one right now with the current position is this particular soybean system here. Now, if you wanted to find out more about this particular system and what it's actually doing at the moment, you can find all your orders under My Systems. You click Orders, and it tells you here there's a stop order in place for a quantity of 1 at a price of 14.18.5, and it's 44.75 cents away from the market. If you want to know what fills have transpired. So for today, these are the various fills that have occurred or various trades that have occurred in your active systems. You can see there's 4 trades here in the Battle Quant ES system, short, long, now it's flat. Here's your soybeans, here's your mini Dow. So everything is visible and transparent. Nothing is hidden from you, nothing's opaque. And that's how easy it is to see what's happening. Now, what you might want to do, for example, we activated this system here, and currently it's not in a live signal, but maybe you want to deactivate it at some point in the future, and all you do is simply stop strategy. You can stop it immediately or do it on the next trade session, and then you click deactivate, and that's all you do. So that's how easy it is. Once you've activated something, you can walk away from it, and you can just let the algos trade it, and then you can check back in anytime you want and decide to deactivate it. And people always ask, how often should I do that? Well, it depends on you. We have clients, and this is not hyperbole, that have activated systems and have walked away for years and not touched them and just let the algos trade for them. And other people activate a system and they may change their mind for some reason, a few days later or what have you, and then they'll deactivate it. So it really is depending on you, what you want to do in terms of how active you want to be with, changing your systems and turning them off and on. Here is a great section here, top 10. I'll show you this. So here are today's, in the current session, these are the top 10 systems on the platform. You can see they're NASDAQ, DAX, Mini Dow, Russell, and Copper. So you can see this one is currently short, this one is short, so on and so forth. It tells you everything about the current position and where the buy stops are, where the profit orders are, you name it. So this one here, this NASDAQ system is doing very well, up 8,800 in profits for today. And then here's another NASDAQ up about $1,300. So as you might guess, the ones with the most profit on any given day, month, or year are usually the ones that are going to have the most risk as well. In other words, the larger drawdowns. So that usually risk and reward are, you know how that goes, or positively correlated. And then you want to go back and look at top 10 from the previous session or the last month. You can see some of these NASDAQ systems here, and here's gold, did very well last month, and so on and so forth. You can go back all the way to 2001 is when some of the hypothetical data goes back. I also point out that the hypothetical data, let's just go ahead and pull up any one of these. So all of this data here, this back-tested data, it takes into account all slippage and all trading costs. So everything is net, whether it's hypothetical or live, everything is a net performance. So keep that in mind. So all the systems already reflect the monthly cost of the license as well as the trading commission for each trade. And people ask, what is the cost for each license? Well, it's different. You see this one here is $225, and that seems to be a little bit on the higher end for what you might find. A lot of systems are maybe $50 a month. So it just depends on the developer and the system. All right, so there you have it. That is a very, very powerful tool. We love using it, and clients absolutely love using it as well. And you can see here, the idea we like is to have sort of a portfolio of various systems running. And we think it provides a great opportunity to have some diversification among your other investments and other traditional asset classes. All right, let me go ahead here now and jump over. Okay, see a lot of questions coming in. Very good. I'm glad. Keep asking them because I'll get to them, I promise. I don't get to them right away. And let's see here. Yeah, getting a lot of questions on that. Thank you for the questions. Keep them going. And let's see if I can get it to a couple of them real quick here. Yeah, people are asking about replay links. Absolutely. Talking about some of the hedge funds beating the quants and so on and so forth. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, market dynamics are shifting, but not all algos are written the same. So, and this is not high frequency trading. I think a lot of that is related to high frequency trading where they're basically front running in nanoseconds and scalping, fractions of a tick or a penny, so to speak. So these are not high frequency trading systems or algo systems. The intraday systems might trade, it just depends, be in a trade for a couple hours, and the swing trading systems might be in a trade for a couple weeks. So here we go. I thought this was a great little picture, so I threw it in there. Automated trading, it is. It's a lot of fun, and it's a very powerful tool. We think it's a very useful tool as well. And with that said, let me go ahead and let's hope you don't feel like this kid. There's a lot of information on that platform, and I brush over it a little bit quickly, and there's a reason for that because we have a lot more material, but I think you get the idea of what a great platform it is and how useful it can be. So here's what you're thinking, because people tell us afterward, they hear it all the time. I've never traded futures. That's kind of the objection we get. So therefore, that must mean you can't trade futures now. That's kind of the implication there. But it doesn't matter. Who cares? The algos are trading for you. So you don't need to know about what the chart looks like on crude oil or soybeans, or you don't need to know what the fundamentals are with, copper imports or gold demand, or it doesn't make any difference. The algos have code and they're pre-written, and the algorithms are going to trade the markets up and down for you. They do all the work for you. You don't have to screen watch and babysit. Precious metals, energies, stock market indexes, currencies, you name it, there's an algo for that. Now keep in mind futures contracts. They're deeply liquid, they're transparent. There's a lot of leverage involved with every contract. You can diversify using futures. The algos are just as easily going to go long or short, unless it's an algo that's specifically, long only or short only. And they're very, very cost effective. So we love the algos. Now here we go, options trading, automated options trading. How many of you are trading options? A lot, I bet. So, yeah, people are people are asking already about this. But yeah, here's what we do. It's a secret options trading solution, something we've developed, and I think you're going to want to know about it. Let's take a look here. Automated options technology, strategies for up, down, and non-directional stock index futures markets. So that's the key here, stock index futures. And I'm going to show you why and what I'm talking about and how you can do it. Now we're going to remove the guesswork, something you can do in just minutes a day. And now why a stock market index versus individual stock? Well, one, they're less volatile. An index might move 3% in a day, and that would be a pretty big move for the S&P, for example. But an individual stock can move 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%. And of late, you've seen markets going just 900% in a few days. And then here's a secret strategy, but we can only apply it to stock index futures markets, and I'll show you why. And really, it's only one market we're really focused on, maybe two or three, and not thousands of other securities and stocks and funds. So what's the market? The E-mini S&P 500. It's liquid, efficient, it's cost effective, and I'm going to jump into that in here. Before we do, let's talk about insurance companies. They make money because you pay them premiums to assume risk, and what they do is they sell and they manage time. They insure themselves by hedging. They're always covered, so to speak, and they are consistent and they're patient with their business plan. And then the probabilities, all they're doing is looking at math. That's it. They're just number crunching. There's no emotion. They look at statistics, expected returns. You know the score. That's what they're looking at. Now, that's the same thing casinos do, believe it or not. Among all the bells and whistles and, cocktail waitresses and free drinks and, the music playing and whatnot, here's what they do. Quite simple, folks. They always have the edge. You bet $100 on that zero 38 times, you're going to lose $200 on average, 526. That's your loss per spin. That's the house edge. And they do that because they don't care, because over time, they're gonna win. They're gonna pay you winnings sometimes, but over time they're gonna win. So they want you there for a long time. And looking at a baseball analogy, what about higher probability trading, looking at what we call base hits and not home runs? Let's look at some option strategies by collecting premiums, by going short and selling options. We need to be consistent and patient, manage that risk. We will have losers. Manage reward, not get greedy. And the main thing is you need the proper tool to make this all happen. It's all great in theory, but how do you actually apply it? So let's jump into this. Short option strategies, non-directional, bullish and bearish, higher probability outcomes with predetermined risk. And we're going to show you how that works. Credit spreads, if you know about this, we're going to go quickly. And if you don't, we're going to make it super easy. These are always insured positions, and that means they're covered. They're predetermined risk and reward, and they can be even non-directional, so you don't have to be bullish or bearish. And here's an example, and don't worry about that graph, I'll explain it. Here's a credit spread on the E-mini S&P 500. You see the market moving kind of sideways to higher. You have some strikes on the upper boundary and lower boundary, and that's what we call the margin of error, above the market and below the market. We're going to show you that, but before we do, quickly, we're not going to go deep into the weeds on the Greeks and the second and multiple third derivatives and the second order Greeks and all that stuff. You don't need to know that. And the one you need to know is delta. Delta, and the next one I'll show you in just a second. So delta is the approximate probability of expiring in the money. For example, 0.25 delta means there's a 25% chance of expiring in the money, but conversely, 75% chance of expiring worthless. Remember, delta is always changing with price and time, and it is not the probability of a winning trade, so keep that in mind too. And now time decay is theta. When you talk about theta, that means you're talking about sensitivity to time. Remember, options are a wasting asset. They have limited life. So when you refer to theta, it's a negative number, usually negative number equaling 1 day of time decay. For example, an option's at 10 points, theta is negative 0.05. Then the next day, the premium be 9.95, and after that, 9.90, and so on. That's what it looks like on a graph. As you approach time zero, you'll see the percent of the premium remaining dropping steadily. And here's an example of selling a call spread. You sell a 35-30 call, that's the red line. So you sell that and you collect 4.5 points. At the same time, you buy the 35-50 and you have to pay 2.25, but the net result is you collect $112.50 minus your commission. And that's what selling a covered call spread looks like. And here's an example of a put spread. Sell the 29.90 put, buy the 29.70 put. The net result is a $100 premium that you collect when you do that. We're going to show you in the demo. And this is not naked trading, no naked options. If you're trading naked options or short naked calls and puts, don't do it. It won't work. It'll work until it doesn't. And you don't want to end up one of those people making headlines about losing their entire account with naked options writing. So just like these creatures, you don't want to end up naked, okay, okay, people. And only do covered options because, first of all, like I said, there's unlimited risk with naked options, but also there's no margin calls if you're doing covered options. So the way we trade, you're not going to have margin calls. So here's an iron condor. If you've heard of it, great. It's going to go quickly. And if you haven't, it's easy. And I even have a secret variation to show you. So if you know what an iron condor is, I could promise you don't know what's coming next. So this is a combination of the put spread and call spread that we just talked about. Okay, so here we have just a simple graph of what a condor might look like. Selling an out of the money call spread above the market and an out of the money put spread below the market. And you collect premium on both sides. Now here is the secret short option strategy. It's called the Dragonfly. 6 legs, name that we came up with. It's a non-directional variation on the Condor. And we're going to spend a minute on this. So here we have a graph of a Dragonfly trade. Here's the S&P trading kind of in between the range. This is what it looks like. Here's the structure. Selling 4 of the 3780 calls, buying 3 further out of the money calls, and then here's the trick, 1 closer to the money call. You notice for each one you're short, you're also long, so that's completely covered spread. But notice the call that you buy here is 50 points closer to the money in this case. 50 points closer, so that means the market's moving up, up, up closer to these short calls, that the one that you own here is going to gain in value much more rapidly, and conversely, it'll lose value much more slowly, but you own it. And the same thing here with the puts. You sell the 4 2820s, buy 3 further out of the money to cover those, and then 1 additional to cover the remaining short. And you notice once again, 50 points closer to the money. Now the algorithm I'm going to show you builds these trades and pre-selects them for you. And we're going to get into that in just a brief moment. All right, here. One other thing too, another secret variation. And it's a little bit of hyperbole when I say secret, but it is sort of a secret because it's something that we developed. I could use the word proprietary, it might be better. But you can do just one side or the other. So you can do just the call side of a Dragonfly or the put side of a Dragonfly. So we'll show you that here. But here's Jackie Chan confused. Which trades to make? How do you know which market to buy or sell? The strategy to apply? What's the price? What's your timing? How do you manage the risk and profits? That's the answer that you've been looking for here. It's Theta Trader. These are pre-built option spreads. That was one of our trading team there, options trading group in Chicago. These guys here, great group of guys. Okay, so the proprietary algo will create Theta trades, professional strategies for bull, bear, and flat markets. With automation, automate your risk and profit, something called the risk thermal indicator. It's a color-coded risk and profit management automation called the RTI for short. So simple and effective trade selection and options trading management, Theta Trader software. So now it's time. Let me jump over to our dashboard for Theta Trader. Takes just a brief moment. I got multiple screens here I've got to go back and forth with. All right, there we have it, folks. You're looking at the dashboard for Theta Trader. And let me go ahead and explain to you what's happening here. So this is what you would see if you're logging into Theta Trader. You'll notice Theta trades in this section here. Your open short positions here, open bought positions, because Theta Trader also can, of course, buy option spreads. It doesn't just develop short option strategies. Here's all your account info that's pulled directly from your account, and then your current quotes on the market. So we'll go ahead and start just here at the Theta Trade section. Let me expand this just a notch here, make it a little easier, hopefully. So bullish strategies are pre-populated, bearish strategies, neutral, and you'll see in the markets here, the E-mini S&P 500, the mini NASDAQ 100, and the mini Russell 2000. These are the 3 markets that Theta Trader is going to be working with. And for the most part, most of the actions on the ES, but occasionally we'll work on the NASDAQ and Russell as well. Just thought I'd point that out. Give me just a second here, folks. Take a sip of water. Okay, so let's go ahead and start here. We looked at, in the presentation a few minutes ago, Dragonflies and Condors. Let's look at a Condor. Here's today's Theta trades for the Condor. You can see there's a 52 days till expiration and 64 days till expiration trade. You'll notice the strikes are already pre-selected. They're pre-built. Gives you your maximum profit potential at expiration and your targeted annualized return at expiration here. And we'll go ahead and look at this end of month, March end of month trade. So the first thing I like to do is look at a graph. Just gives me some perspective. So here's the current market price, and here's the call spread and put spread that you'd be selling. And you'll notice here the settlement price, the net premium, your put risk, your call risk, commission, capital, cash required, profit potential, the T-ROC, targeted return on cash, and your targeted annualized return at expiration. So let me ask you, here's a kind of rhetorical question, but we get it. The cash required on this trade is essentially on any of the trades we're doing is the maximum put risk minus the premium you receive. So in this case, $891. So you have to use that to try to make a maximum of 109. And that seems a bit asymmetric in sort of the wrong way. But keep in mind, the put that you're selling, the 1720 put, has a delta of 9.74. So that means there's over a 90% probability that this option is going to expire worthless. And now look at the call, 6.8% delta. So you're looking at 93% probability that this option is going to expire out of the money as well. So those are the higher probability outcomes that Theta Trader and the Algo is typically targeting. So that's why we think it makes a lot of sense. And you'll notice all the strikes are pre-selected, but you could modify them if you wanted, but it will change the rules of the trade. It may give you some warnings as well. And it's pre-selected here, pre-populated to sell because you're selling the spread. Quantity always defaults to 1. Let's just make it say 5, and you'll notice the cash required and your profit potential, of course, and all that margin requirement all jumps up correspondingly. Price here, we'll leave it at 2.6, and we'll go ahead and place that order. And you'll see it's then shows up as being filled in just a demo account. Okay, so that is how easy it is to navigate through the Theta Trade section of Theta Trader. Now what I want to do is show you a Dragonfly, and the best way to do that is use a simulation, and I'll compare a Condor with a Dragonfly. Now we have it under here, a trade simulator. You can go backwards in time and back test. I've loaded a couple just to save some time. So here is a trade from January 2 of last year. It's an iron Condor. Might need to squeeze this down here. Yeah, that'll work. So here's a Condor placed on January 2. Let's go back in time, jump into the options trading time machine, and use these tools. You can go forward 1 day at a time, go backward a day at a time, or you can kind of just press the play button and then pause it. Okay, so let me show you what's happening. It just gives you day by day what's happening as the time expires, the days expire. It's giving you the P&L. You can see the trade. A little bit negative, and that's normal when you're selling options because Theta Decay has not had a chance to work yet. But you can see a green RTI. That means go, good, you name it, do nothing. Nothing to do, just let the Theta Decay work. So nothing to do. Let's go ahead and play this out. Okay, now it turned yellow. Yellow is a slightly elevated risk, and you can see the trade is losing a little bit more money, and that's because the trade here, the underlying market is moving a little closer and closer to this upper short call boundary. But still, let's see what happens. Turns yellow again. Market starts to turn down, turns orange, and then it turns red. Orange means even more elevated risk, and red means too much risk, get out and take your loss. Now, here's the real key. Listen to this one here. I want to emphasize this, but not overly emphasize it. I don't want to sound like I'm being patronizing or scolding everyone, but I get this all the time, and people ask all the time, and they still can't believe it. But yes, you can automate this, and I'll show you how. Meaning, if the RTI ever hits red, you don't have to screen watch it or babysit it. Theta Trader will automatically close out that position for you. And I'll show you how to automate all that. It's super easy, and give me just a second. But before we do that, we've just looked at this Condor trade, and we've taken a loss. and that was on January 2 when we placed that trade. So here on January 2, what about placing, instead of a Condor, you did a Dragonfly? So we've loaded that up, and here's what the Dragonfly looks like on that day. Let's go ahead and play it through. So you can see the same kind of similar movement, but the trade is actually at sometimes moving in and out of profitability a lot sooner than the Condor. Interesting. Turns yellow, little elevated risk, but still do nothing. Now look at this, it turned blue. What is blue? Profit taking. The algorithm says it's time to take profits, get out, take your money and run. No need to sit on this trade any longer. So with 29 days till expiration, you were able to generate a profit taking signal. And once again, I will repeat how we can automate this. Whether it turns red or blue, Theta Trader will automate that for you. I'll look at a couple others here. Here's another Condor from May 1st. And feel free to jump in with questions, and I'll let them pile up and try to get back to them. I don't want to feel like I'm just talking at you. I've done enough of these to know what a lot of the common thoughts are and questions, but still, I want to interact, so feel free to shoot out any questions. So here's a Condor. All is going well. Turns orange, elevated risk, so it might turn red soon, and that would be the proverbial red line in the sand. And look at that, turns green again. And then it turns blue. So with 7 days left, expiration, it turns blue, you take your profits and you move on. So that's all good and well. But let's imagine instead of a Condor, you had placed a Dragonfly. So this was, you saw this was a Condor that we placed on, just want to make sure you all see this, May 1st. So May 1st, let's do a Dragonfly. Let's see what happens. Look at that. With 34 days till expiration, it's already turning profitable, and it says get out, take your money and run. So instead of a Condor where you had to sit on that trade until there was only 7 days till expiration, the Dragonfly structure gave you an opportunity to pull the plug on that with over a month of time remaining, take your money and move on to something else. So that is the power of the Dragonfly. In various market conditions, it is going to act much more differently, favorably compared to a Condor. So that's why we love the Dragonfly. And let me jump back and let me just show you, here's a Dragonfly for today. Here are the choices according to Theta Trader. Here's the March end of month. And I'll also emphasize that whether it's a Condor or a Dragonfly, we highly recommend you automate the exit. So whether it's a risk or profit-taking order. In other words, always get out before expiration. You never want to hold one of these trades till expiration. The juice isn't worth the squeeze, as the phrase goes. So here's a Dragonfly for the March end of month expiration. You can see here. Now, right now, there's a 50-point spread here on Theta Trader. Sometimes it's 60 or 70, sometimes it's 40. It just depends on underlying market conditions and what the algo is going to do. You'll notice the same type of thing. Cash required, profit potential, targeted annualized return on cash. And a Dragonfly will always have a slightly lower targeted return on cash than a Condor. And that's simply because when you buy this call option and you buy this put option, that costs you money. So it's coming money basically that is going to impact the profitability of the trade, or at least the targeted profitability of the trade. And of course, at the same time, it does completely alter the risk-reward paradigm of that what it would otherwise might be a Condor trade. So there you have a Dragonfly. You can do a quantity, let's say of 2. We'll go ahead and place that. And there it is. And it shows up on your dashboard. So there you go, the ones we just placed today. Now here's how you would track your positions. So let's look at, for example, open positions are right on the home page of the dashboard, or you can look at them all on one screen. So there are 8 open positions here. You can see them all here. Let me scrunch this down. You can see at a glance if any of these are yellow or orange, if anything's in trouble. If you wanted to look at any one in detail, you just click on it. And you'll see here, this has only been on for 4 days. Here's a graph, so really it's kind of not a lot to look at yet. But that's what it looks like on your open positions. Tells you 7 short positions, 1 long position, your open profit and loss. And then here's what it looks like on your closed positions. Then I'm going to, just in a minute here, I'm going to get to the best feature of all for Theta Trader. So you definitely want to see the best feature of all. And you'll see closed positions. You can show 20 at a time. It shows you 20 on the page, 18 winners, 2 losers, 14 short positions, 1 was a loser, 5 long positions, 1 was a loser. So just the same as looking at any other trade detail, you can just click on any one of them. Back in time to kind of refresh your memory of what that trade looked like. You can see here's one Condor placed on November 12, 37 days till expiration, and then it gave an exit signal December 7 with 12 days till expiration. Now here is what you want to do. You want to go to settings under my account. This is how you automate everything. And quite simply, you click the activate risk manager, activate profit directive, and then you click save settings. And that's all you have to do. And if you want more information on, for example, how the RTI works, you go to the help file, you go into the glossary, and you can see here a description of all the color coding. You can see more definitions for all the various spreads. And while I'm here, just so you know, there's also tutorials available. These are all videos walking you through step by step on how to use Theta Trader, but I think it is very intuitive and sort of self-explanatory. There's educational videos here on trading options and trading futures options, on some advanced option strategies. So there's a lot here. We also offer our daily proprietary research, something we call Trade Scope. So we're looking at some of the technicals and looking ahead as to what to expect, whether it's technical or fundamental. And then we're also doing a daily trading summary that gives a narrative of what happened in Asia, what happened in Europe, economic calendar, what to look for in the future. So that's also under the My Account section as well. All right, now just to wrap up the dashboard, I want to also point out that there are bullish strategies, there are bearish strategies. You can do half Dragonfly puts, for example. So you can do just the put side of a Dragonfly. You can do simply something we call a bull hedge or a bear hedge. And we just did some of those bull hedges about a week or so ago, and butterflies, if you're familiar with those. But here's a bull hedge, simply buying an out-of-the-money call spread and selling an out-of-the-money put spread to finance the purchase of that call spread that you bought. And the same type of things apply with bearish strategies. You can buy you can sell the Dragonfly calls. You can just buy some put spreads. You can sell some call spreads, whatever. So it does more than just Condors and Dragonflies, but really, I think this is what really makes Theta Trader unique, are the Dragonflies and the Condors and how we manage it automatically. And then with that said, I want to jump into, make sure I didn't forget anything here. Yeah, I want to jump into really what I think is the absolute best feature of all, so bear with me, folks. Okay, so hopefully we don't feel like Lucy and Ethel there. A little bit of pause on my machine. Sorry about that, kind of hiccup. So it's a lot to take, but here's the best feature of all. We can make it easier. And how do we do that? With trade alerts, and these are 1-minute trade alerts. You've never seen anything like these alerts before. These are one-touch responsive alerts. And you're thinking, what am I talking about? All you do when you get the alert on your smart device, if you want to take that trade, you touch accept, the green. If you don't like it, you just touch reject. And that's all you have to do. Our technology handles the rest for you. These alerts are live and they're integrated with your AltaVest trading account. So one touch, you just accept and the order's placed. Here's what it looks like. You receive that text. It's a link. You touch that link. You see a graph of the trade, a description of the trade. And that's it. Now let me explain something real quickly. I'm going to walk through this one more time. I'll point out a couple things. Okay, so you can see the premium is already described, the cash required, but look at the sizing. The quantity is already selected for you. And you'll notice here, at the bottom, it lays out what the targeted annualized return is and the days till expiration. So with that said, that's great stuff. And I can tell you that we talk to people every day, every week, and nobody's doing alerts like this. You're getting, I know what you're doing. You're getting emails and you're getting text messages. Then you have to log into some other platform and try to copy it all down. And I get people telling me they make mistakes. It's not convenient, blah, blah, blah. So now it's time for the offer, how to get involved with our membership. So everything you need is part of our VIP membership. So let me run through what you get. You get access to AV systems. You saw the automated futures trading software. You saw the demo of that. Research and development, dozens of system programmers, thousands of system bots, as we call them, multiple market sectors. And really, it's just as easy as flipping the switch to on, having those transparent trades working for you. Full control, you remain in full control. Automation for risk and profit, intraday and swing trading systems. You can watch all that live performance occurring. Remember, stock indices, currencies, bonds, metals, energies, grains, traditional commodities, you name it, financials, I mean, everything. Just about anything you can think of is on that systems platform. So what would it cost you to try to develop something on your own? Well, we've spent, I mean, I would have to say 7 figures over the years on developers and trading in FX systems, futures trading systems, you name it. It's costly, it's time consuming. So to hire one programmer to develop one algo and one market, to do just one system, we think it's just over $10,000. Now, keep in mind with AV systems, I want to point out we have our own top picks and stuff that some of the systems that we're working with our clients. You'd want to know if your systems are on the A-list research. Here's an example of some of what we do when we allocate systems and work with clients. That value there, almost $3,000 for that proprietary research. So remember, the VIP membership means AV systems and the A-list research, a value of over $13,700. And then, of course, you have Theta Trader. You just saw the options trading solution. Probably one of the most unique options trading platforms you've seen, and probably the most user-friendly as well. It's not overly complicated. And after trading with thousands of clients, and getting their feedback, that's why we built it the way we did and designed it that way. So proprietary Algo will pre-build those option spreads for you. Simple, effective trade selection, simple trade tracking. So here's how Theta Trader looks like, what it looks like on your dashboard. Here's what your statement looks like. And you know what? Those statements haven't changed in 30 years. So, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but you can't make any heads or tails out of that. And then, of course, you have the RTI, the risk thermal indicator. Put your trading on autopilot to automate your exit, close out your risk, close out your profit automatically. And then in the simulator, you saw how interesting that simulator was. It's a very powerful tool, useful tool, and it's actually a lot of fun. You can go backwards in time, test any of the strategies over any period of time, use those, we call them animated living charts, use those chart tools down here to play, go forward and backwards in time. So you have Theta Trades, the RTI, and the Trade Simulator, a value of over $3,500 for that software. But remember, you also get trade alerts, and these are integrated. These are responsive trade alerts, one-touch trading. You simply accept or reject. That's all you have to do. And then, of course, if you set it up, the RTI can automatically manage it for you. Yearly value on those alerts, $44, and I think that's being conservative considering what I see others paying for subscriptions to various services. So you have Theta Trader software, you have the trade alerts, a value of over $8,000 just on Theta Trader alone. So with the VIP membership, to summarize, you have AV systems, Theta Trader, including the trade alerts, a value of over $21,000 for the VIP membership. And here's the best part of all, because sometimes people think, well, it might be a little bit new, I might need a little help navigating things. Well, we can do that. We offer a private coach, completely different business model from your typical big box brokerage firm that has just chat bots that just drive you crazy and that have outages too. I mean, that's kind of crazy that it's all happening today. But anyway, one-on-one training, we're all licensed, we're all experienced with multiple decades. You get 1 hour screen sharing sessions with us. So you can talk about systems, activation, A-list, diversification, look at your options trading, the RTI, the options alerts, advanced strategies, you name it. We'll cover any topic. These are just sort of a common theme that people bring up, but you can really cover anything you want. So you have a co-pilot with you. You'll develop a relationship with that person, discuss and review all of your trading. That is a big deal, folks. A value of at least $7,500. And I think that's way undervalued. People are paying tens of thousands of dollars for education. So just to summarize, the VIP, you have your AV system software, Theta Trader software, the trade alerts, and the trading coach. Over $29,000 in value with the VIP membership. And I thought I'd throw this out there too. I covered it briefly, but don't forget, we have our proprietary research that's valued at over $2,900 that's done daily. That'll help you add some additional color and insight to when you want to get in and out of trades. So there you have it, folks. The VIP membership, a value of over $32,000. Remember, it includes AV systems, Theta Trader, trade alerts, a trading coach, and the research. And I think if it's the one thing that just worked for you, it'd be worth it. It could save you time, you could cancel subscriptions, save you some money, lower your stress and aggravation. I hear it all the time. I literally hear it verbatim. This is just what I've been looking for. It'll save me so much time. So that was the whole idea, folks, for Theta Trader and AV Systems. So we think it's a great answer to your question, which is, isn't there anything that can make my trading easier? So yes, it's true. People are paying tens of thousands of dollars for algo systems and options software and alerts. and I talk to them. I paid money myself. I get it. I understand. Here's a special VIP offer. AV Systems and Theta Trader together. That's why we call it the VIP, along with your trading coach. Everything you need, $1,997. In fact, we used to do live events before COVID, and we would do just one or the other sometimes and have Theta Trader just on its own at that same price. But we're packaging those up for you, and in fact, that's not the price, folks. 60% discount before Sunday night because we're doing a live presentation, $797, and that's only one payment. That's it. So one payment, I want to clarify that. We get asked a lot because people are used to paying every month for something. Nope, it's just a one-time payment of $797 to get your VIP membership. And that's, you see the link, cf.altivest.com/VIP. You see the phone number there. Give us a ring to 949-236-6961. Be glad to walk you through any questions or comments or feedback you have on the phone. But really, people just typically go to the link, sign up, and here's really no excuse. There's no excuse even if you're on the fence because there's a 30-day guarantee for that membership fee. If you don't like it after 29 days, that's okay. We'll just refund that membership fee and you're on your way. So 30-day guarantee. Now, here's a few FAQs. Yeah, it is one-time membership fee for life. And we've been doing this since 1997. So, I think I think that's longer than a lot of brokerage firms and a lot that have come and gone in the meantime. So, can I trade stock options with Theta Trader? And I see people have kind of asked that already. The answer is no. We specialize in options on the E-mini stock index futures markets. See the yellow highlights? S&P, NASDAQ, and Russell. And any futures or futures option. That is our space. We're not in securities. And this is why we trade only the indices. Look at that. Just thought I'd throw that in there. This was just from earlier today. I took a screenshot. It was trading at what, $2 just a few days ago. Now it's at 16. It probably at, who knows now. I haven't looked in a few hours. But how about tax efficiency? You want to lower your tax rate by over 10%? Futures and options are tax efficient. Day trading stocks is not. So we're basically we have access to the IRS 1256 section. According to Barron's, it's worth a look trading 1256 contracts because you get taxed at a blended 60-40 rate. 60% of your gains are taxed at the lower long-term capital gains rate. So what does that mean? If you're trading stocks, you do 20% on 100 grand, you're going to get a 12.6% return. And if you're trading with us, you get the same return, 14.64% return, difference of over $2,000 favorable, just because you're trading a tax efficient vehicle, okay? And itemizing, you don't have to worry about itemizing and wash sales and all that nonsense. You just get one number for the tax year. That's your P&L, and that's all you need. Forbes says there are benefits to self-directed IRAs with alternative assets. Absolutely, we can do self-directed IRAs as well. Ask us about the details there. Now, here's a couple things that you don't know. The E-mini S&P 500, it's a huge market. Just that one market alone outtrades all ETFs around the world by a factor of 2.5 times. So here's what it looks like. Here's the E-mini S&P 500. Average daily dollar volume, 2.5 times greater. And compared to the SPY, almost 10 times greater. So this is the biggest, I don't know if it's the worst kept secret in the world, but this is where all the volume is and all the activity is. But it doesn't seem to make the headlines. It just doesn't have, I guess, all the, the sex appeal of an individual stock that's either crashing or exploding, making headlines. So why trade the E-mini S&P 500? Let me reiterate, it's liquid, it's efficient, it's cost effective. Here's 5 reasons. Deep liquidity. And this is, I'll get the latest numbers, but I can't find them yet. 630,000 average daily volume. So it's an important source of liquidity. Largest market share, you have densely packed strikes, 100 annual expirations, you get granularity and coverage that you need. Now, what does that mean? What am I talking about? Well, here's an example of why you can't really trade a Dragonfly on a typical stock. I'll give you an example. Here's what a Dragonfly, you have, your strikes above and below the market. But if you're not trading in a very liquid market or even just a typical stock, you're not going to have these strike prices available. So you won't even be able to build those strikes or build those strategies. So that's why it's important to be trading on the ES or the NASDAQ or Russell minis. There's just so much volume and depth that the strike prices are available. And another advantage, how about just tracking just a couple of the markets and not thousands? And what about efficient margin? You saw how the margin works. And it's a clear cost structure. It's not opaque. And what am I talking about? Well, I'll talk about that in a second, but ES options offer superior execution, savings of $4 to $15 per contract compared to SPX options. So you have a tight bid offer spread on every transaction. And we talk about cost, no hidden cost on the E-minis. These are not securities. They trade at the CME group on the Globex electronic exchange. All orders are treated the same. If you have a 1 lot or a 50 lot, it goes in electronically and it's treated the same as any other order. There's none of that payment for order nonsense like going on with the stock market with, Robinhood and these other brokerage firms. If you don't know what I'm talking about, SEC charges Robinhood with misleading customers on how they make money. They tell you it's free. It's not free, folks. I'll explain that here in a second. You save a penny to lose a nickel. I thought that was a great way to put it. Robinhood fined $65 million. And it's not just Robinhood. It's any of those big box brokerage firms. I think they all sell their order flow. So it's if you're not paying for something, you're going to pay for it in a way you can't see it. I think that's an important comment there. So they found that Robinhood had the way they did things in their business, their model, inferior trade prices cost customers $34 million. If it's commission free, then guess what happens? Then the customer orders are executed at inferior prices. So that's the difference. That's the rub. Robinhood makes millions selling out millennial customers to high-frequency traders. So the high-frequency trader meat grinder, they pay Robinhood tens to hundreds of millions of dollars so they can exploit the retail customers. Absolutely. And the retail stock brokerages, they make up lost commission revenue in other ways buried in the guts of their workflow processes where few people notice. I think that's the key. It's fine if you want to have commission-free trading, but it's not free. So don't be fooled, folks. Nothing of value is truly ever free. So what are our commission rates on options? Our rates are very competitive at 5.25 round turn all in on our E-mini rate. Now remember, we're trading futures and futures options, completely different industry than securities, completely unrelated. And if you go online and you look at a big box brokerage firm that might trade futures and futures options, here's something I cut out not too long ago. They say, okay, our rate's 2.25 per contract. But you have to look at the fine print. The fine print says, oh, that's per side, and there's exchange and other fees on top. It ends up being higher than what we charge. So our rates are very competitive. What's our performance? Well, Theta Trader is a software platform, and it's for you to make your own trading decisions with. So all clients are self-directed with their trading decisions. Everyone has different performance. But keep in mind, I reiterated too, everything is net of all trading costs in systems, AV systems, and Theta Trader. And what size of account for the VIP membership? Well, if you want to do option spreads and multiple systems, we suggest $50,000 to $100,000. And if you want a free membership, absolutely, we get this a lot. $100,000 accounts, we'll gladly rebate that membership fee to you. So you can do an IRA, and there are some different criteria for an IRA, so ask me about that. Individual, joint, corporate, LLC, you name it, all those types of accounts. Trust accounts, we get them all. So alternatives in your portfolio, absolutely. They have a low correlation to traditional investments. They may improve diversification and lower portfolio risk. And then what about this? You want to count on the big tech stocks to continue to rally, or maybe we should count on the most highly shorted stocks, I guess. That's what's happened in the last few days. This is a crazy chart from just a few weeks ago. I don't remember exactly when. It probably hasn't changed much. S&P 500 pretty much dominated half of it. The market cap is just a handful of stocks, but not a whole lot of breadth. This interesting piece I saw earlier today says here, 68% of S&P 500 stocks traded above their 50-day moving average. That's the lowest level since November 6th of last year. So I don't know, maybe we're ready for a correction. This is kind of funny. I threw it in there. It says, actually, you're not crazy. They are out to get you. You know, the dollar bill there. Thought that was kind of funny. And what is that talking about? Well, look at this. Federal Reserve announced it would purchase unlimited treasuries and MBS in order to support financial markets. They would buy assets in amounts needed to support the smooth functioning and transmission of monetary policy, blah, blah, blah. So unlimited money supply. So as soon as they announced that, what happened to the stock market? So this is obviously a liquidity fueled or Fed fueled rally. I guess Dr. Yellen or Dr. Powell now, right? Keeping the money going. They're both kind of the same. They're one and the same, really. They're kind of merging Treasury with the Federal Reserve. So retail trading growth has exploded in 2020. We all know that. Trading volume is up even from 2020. Retail investors are jumping in. Look at this, 32 million call options traded, and that was yesterday, the second highest on record. Thought that was interesting. So you want to be long delusions, wishful thinking, and FOMO. I thought that was a good one. I kind of leave it in there. All right, and I'll get that camera back on there for just a second, and we're coming to the end here. So we like having a low correlation to traditional, asset classes. We like the alternative space, and that's what we're doing, and that's what we're in. So there's a link, cf.altivest.com/VIP. We like portfolio 3, having a slice of the pie there in alternatives, which is, of course, what we just talked about today. So just to summarize, your VIP membership, you have AV systems with algo trading futures. You have Theta Trader with automated options trading. So you have pre-selected trades, automated exits, trade alerts, and the personal coaching that ties it all together. Absolutely. So we'd love to have you as part of our winning team. If you're long-term, serious about success, you're welcome to jump on board with us. And there we have it, folks. There is the last slide. Okay, we're getting lots of questions. I did answer, I think, a lot of them. So let me go ahead and see if I can filter through a few that I might not have been able to get to. The systems are prorated. Okay, so yeah, your system fees are prorated. And let's see here. Well, let me do this. I will put a link. Let me send that out because I'm getting that a lot. Okay, there's a link to the website to become a VIP member. And account size, we suggest 50 to 100,000. If you have a bit less than that, depending on what you want to trade, I'd say the bare minimum is 25,000. And yeah, unfortunately, we're not able to trade with European clients, people and Canadians as well, unless you have a legal residence in the US. And let's see, what else are we asking? Yeah, one-time membership fee, absolutely. And this membership offer does expire on Sunday evening, so you have time to ask some questions today, tomorrow. Certainly we're available, or simply sign up and you get that 30-day guarantee. It's really up to you. Yeah, as a VIP member, you pay the membership fee for the AltaVest VIP membership, and then you have access to both the Theta Trader software as well as the AV System software. And with the AV System software, every time you want to trade a system, you have to basically lease that system for the time you're using it. And that payment goes directly to the system developer. It comes right out of your trading account. And remember, everything is net. All the performance is net of all those different costs. Okay, and yes, if you're new, yeah, it might be a little bit much if you've never traded options. I can agree with that. If you understand calls and puts, and then you can kind of put the idea of what a spread is, then that's really all you need to know. And there is an education section within the platform, so that'll help you with that. All right. Yeah, and people are asking about what's the profits on, well, yeah, the profits are all there on the systems. So the AV systems, every system has a performance sheet with it. So absolutely. And yes, there will be a recording available. Absolutely. You're welcome to view the recording and make sure you get to it though before the special offer expires on Sunday evening. Thank you for the compliment. And someone thought might be good with the trading room. Absolutely. It's up to you how you want to do that. And yes, you will get a replay so you can point other people to it and share it. We appreciate that, or feel free to call us at any time with questions. Yeah, everything is cloud-based. That's a good question. It's not anything you download. So both AV Systems and Theta Trader and Trade Alerts, you have nothing to download. Everything is cloud-based. It's accessible through any type of device or online access. And yeah, I wish we could trade with Canadians and Europeans, but regulations say we can't. So you can thank all of our governments for that one. We hear about that quite literally every single day. We have to turn away clients, unfortunately. I wish it weren't that way. Okay, and very good. Well, feel free to reach out to me. You have my that's my phone number. I left my direct phone number here. You can use the info or just Erik, E-R-I-K, at altivest.com. Or go right to the page there and sign up and become a member. So that is fine, either way you do it. And let's see, we're looking at some other questions. You know what, people ask about that all the time, if they can take Theta Trader and connect to it. No, it only works with Altivest. So we're the brokerage firm, and it's our technology for our client base. So I don't know, does that sound selfish or not? I don't know, but that's just the way it works. It works for us. It's something, of course, that we've built our business around. And yeah, well, anyway, but we do offer, I think a lot of expertise with the both software platforms. I think that, put all of our experience into it and built that out for our client base. And, it seems to do, one of those things where once people find it and they start using it, they absolutely love it. So love to have you try it too. We welcome you to jump on board and sign up. And if you have any comments or questions along the way, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I kept you on here for far too long. All right, very good. See if I can go back. Well, there's so many questions. I have to go back and let's see what else is there. Yeah, I know, absolutely. There was people are mentioning various different stocks, AMC and GME and so on and so forth. But that's all great to kind of keep apprised of in terms of what's going on in the headlines, but it's not useful at all to trade with. So we don't use any of that kind of in our input. It's all algo driven and kind of process driven. So all right, very good. Contact me, reach out to me, everyone, asking questions. Welcome, Erik, E-R-I-K, at altivest.com. Here, I'll put it in there. Or better yet, just call the phone number. You can call me directly. If I don't pick up, just leave a message. It means I'm just on the phone. and we'll leave it at that. And of course, even if you're not 100% sure about something, you can certainly sign up and get the discounted rate. And if something happened later on next week or something, you decide against it, we just rebate it. So that's how that works. And I'll send this out. Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thanks everyone for sticking around. We had a good time here, and we'll let you get back to the rest of your day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, one last question. Okay, actually, a couple more questions. I tricked you. Uh, no, today's not really a big down day. In terms of trading for Theta Trader and what it does, for example, you saw the strike prices that might be sold with a Dragonfly or a or a Condor. I mean, you're talking about strike prices that are quite far away, so it takes more than a 1% or 2% move on any given day to really impact the value typically of any of those strikes. So, all right, I had a couple questions like that. Very good. Thank you. Bye bye.